Welcome guys, I am finally ready to show you the disassembly of the Sigma 24-70 lenses. I'm pretty excited. This video has been a few weeks in the making, which isn't my longest one, but it has taken a while. So what I want to show you is the insides of a Sigma 24-70, or just a kind of a standard range zoom lens. I'm assuming lens construction is going to be fairly similar across the different brands, but I'm sure there are little details here and there that are different. But this will give you a good idea of like what goes on inside the lens. Now, full disclosure, I am not like an expert when it comes to camera lenses. You know, I do have a degree in engineering, but this is not my strong point. I've never opened up a lens before. So when I first got these lenses, I was hoping to be able to repair one of them with parts from the other. That didn't work out because even the good front element had a couple nicks on it, dust inside the glass. It would just reduce the resale value too much for it to be worth it. So with that in mind, I just kind of went into it wanting to take the lens apart and see what's inside. So what I'm going to show you is each individual part up against this clean background here so you can see it really well. And up in the corner, I will have just how I disassembled it and how it came off of the lens. Okay, so the first part we're going to take off is the mount ring. This is the ring that mounts directly onto your camera. So you see the little red dot right there that you line up, and there's a couple screw holes, and that's what comes out. So this is the rear flange. It is the second thing to come off after the mounting ring. The mounting ring fits on there just like that. And so that's when you attach it to your camera. It would fit inside a little deeper, but I've got screws in there. So yep, that's what it looks like on the back of the lens, and that's what you mount to the camera. This is the motherboard. It sits right inside the mount ring, or right underneath rather. And that's what the contacts look like, and the motherboard sitting right below it. Pretty cool. After you take that part off, the next piece that's going to come off is the focus window ring, and it's mostly just like a plastic housing that is mounted around the focus ring. So this is the control panel thing. It fit inside the part with the window, so that ribbon cable would slide in there, and then this would fit over this control ring or focus ring, and then that's where you get your little indicator. Now the focus ring looks like this. You can see, let's see, where is it? Right here. These contacts glide across, and depending on the combination of these copper contacts that are connected with this little brush right here, depending on that combination, it tells the lens where the focus position is. You can see that these little gaps are what give that brush different combinations of contacts, and if you look really closely, there are like it moves like a degree or two before it's onto another combination. It's really interesting. It wouldn't look like it can have that fine of detail with these larger gaps, but the way it's spaced out is pretty clever. What is sitting inside all of those mechanics is the rear element. This is the last piece of glass that the light travels through before it hits your camera sensor. But this is basically in middle of the control ring. And once you get down to that point, this is what it looks like. So let's see. So what I just showed you, the focus ring sits on the outside of this part of the lens. And then it is attached to this brass rotor. I think this is the motor, focus motor, or it has something to do with how the motor operates, or it could be a sensor, I guess. Anyway, once you get down to this point, you're holding these brass rings right here. There's like a little padded one and a spring ring that keeps it tensioned. So here's the control ring. It took me a while to figure out that you had to remove this rubber, which is just kind of like a rubber band, to expose the screws that you need to get to take the control ring off. That one took me a few minutes to figure out. But yeah, you get down to this point, and these components right here look like this. So you see there's like a copper contact on here, a ribbon cable goes up to the motherboard, and this is what this brass ring right here looks like when you take it out. On top of this brass ring, you had, okay, the next I think was the little fabric ring. It's just like a little pad that sits on top of it. And then you had these 3 metallic rings. They're like a couple brass, it looks like, and then maybe a steel or aluminum, probably an aluminum or other light metal because it's not very heavy. But then these go on top of that. And then this spring ring, you can see it's kind of wavy, so it will keep tension on there. And then this plastic ring with the screw holes in the side of it is what secures all of this down like that. And so you can see it right here in this one. This is that plastic ring, and then you have the tension ring or spring ring, whatever you call it, and then there's the brass rotor. Now, under this brass rotor assembly, you have a bearing race. These little holes right here all have or had bearings in them, and this lets the rotor ring travel smoothly, and I'll show you how that was assembled. So on the base you had this metal ring where the bearings rolled across it, and then this bottom part which feels like some kind of coated metal or maybe graphite of some sort. Maybe not graphite, I don't know. It feels very brittle but very hard. And then so this set on bottom, this ring right here, and then the bearing race sits on top of that. And then this metal ring is the top ring that the bearings rest on. So that went on there like this. And then this entire rotor assembly fit on top of it like that. And the brass rides across the bearing. At this point, we are down to just the front element and one glass element right there. So as you can see, this one had a damaged front element with some hardware damage right here. But you can see that the zoom ring sits like that, and it moves the front element away from that other element that's inside it right now. So then you're down to here. But inside of this element were these elements. And these are I'm not sure what this one does, but this one is the iris. And you can see the blades inside there. I think you can anyway. There we go. Oh, I think I rolled something. Oh, hey. Very cool. Okay. See the aperture blades inside there. So there's the aperture. I'm not sure what this one does. I think it is maybe the motor that controls the... Feels like there's a moving part right here, and there's a little plastic tab. I'm not sure how that works. I know that this somehow moves together because of this track right here, and so there's some motion between them. But anyway, these fit inside about right here on the lens. So that's pretty interesting. So that's the inside of a Sigma 24-70 lens. It was definitely interesting. I found some things that I didn't expect. The construction was, I think my number one takeaway is that it's very clever how they get it all to work together in such a small package. So congrats Sigma. That's pretty cool. And pretty much any manufacturer out there that makes camera lens. The physics that goes on inside these things is remarkable. And the fact that we can get as pictures as clear and crisp as we do is just amazing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I certainly enjoyed making this video. It's been full of bumps, but it was pretty cool. Be sure to do something kind for someone today, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Sorry if you can hear the dog barking across the street. What is the minimum focusing distance of a GoPro? Does the GoPro even focus? Hello, friends. That's pretty good.